Welcome to my show, Reflections. Hit the like and subscribe button. You have officially landed with Sarithia. Now, with that being said, Reflection, we are over here talking about Queen Amanirenas. Now, Queen Amanirenas, if you don't know Reflection, she was known as the one-eyed queen. Now, why was she known as the one-eyed queen? Because she didn't take no shit, Reflection. Yes, I'm just here to let you know. Queen Amanirenas, Reflection, when you come to her, you have to come to her correct. Because if you don't, you might be leaving without a head. Yes, you see on the picture, baby, she stepped on head. She didn't play no games. Okay. Now, with that being said, I know I'm a little late on this video, but it's better late than never. Okay. So, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button because it helps everyone know that I have officially landed with my spaceship. Now, for everyone who don't know who Queen Amanirenas is, she was actually the Queen of Kush. Reflection. She was actually the Queen of Kush, and she actually led an army of nothing but goddesses. Reflection, and these goddesses were nothing to play with. So, if you're new to the crew and you haven't heard about Queen Amanirenas, then hopefully after this video, you will be more informed about who she was and why you shouldn't fuck with her.
I said, did you know this one-eyed queen humiliated the Roman Empire? And of course, you never heard about her. Queen Amanirenas was the queen of Nubia. From 40 to 10 BC, she was the queen of Kush. She was known for being fierce in battle and putting everything on the line to defend her people. Having lost her eye in battle, she also lost her son and her husband, all to defend her people. When Caesar Augustus took over Egypt, Kush was right next door. Decided that he wanted to tax Kush, but Queen Amanirenas was not having that. She refused any type of tax that was going to happen on her people. Knowing that the Roman was going to attack because of her denial, she decided to attack first, gathering over 30,000 Nubians, creating a strategic plan against the Roman. She ended up taking over 3 of the big places that the Roman have conquered. She even captured Romans and made them into slaves. She was one not to play with. Even took a stone head of Augustus and buried it under her kingdom. So every time you would exit and enter the kingdom, you would step all over his head. She was the first one that was stepping on niggas. Stop playing. After years of going back and forth, she decided to send a peace treaty to Rome. She sent one of her people with a whole bunch of golden arrows sending this one message. Queen sends you these arrows. If you want peace, they are a token of her friendship and warmth. If you want war, you'll need them. I'm telling y'all, she is not one to play with. After this peace treaty, Nubia was at peace for 400 years.
Baby, she said, how you want this? How you want it to be? We can go to the left side or we can go to the right side. What you want to do? Let me know, baby. Queen Amaraya said, listen, my husband and my son gone. Okay, play with me. Play with me. I got a little chip on my shoulder. And I ain't got no deal.
In the 1st century BCE, a fearless queen emerged to defend her kingdom. Rome had invaded the kingdom of Kush, but Amanirenas, queen of Kush, stood undaunted. Amanirenas and her warriors clashed swords with the powerful Roman Empire, defeating them in battle and reclaiming their land. Amanirenas, a brilliant diplomat and fierce warrior, negotiated the return of her kingdom's lands through a peace treaty. The Romans, humbled by her strength, withdrew their forces, restoring the southern border of Egypt to Kush. She was a warrior queen who successfully fought against the Roman invaders and reclaimed the lands of her kingdom. Amanirenas is a story that portrays courage, diplomacy, and victory. If you enjoyed this story,
They said, damn, I ain't even know she was coming like that. You got to be ruthless. Reflection. Amana Reyes came over there. She said, listen, bury his head. Yes, every time somebody step over here, they gonna step on your head, baby. Baby, now that's do you believe in magic? Amana Reyes said, listen, not only am I finna take this head, every time y'all come over here, I'm gonna remind y'all, do you want it to be 2 heads down here instead of one? What you want? What you want, Rome? Let me know. Let me know, because I ain't playing no games. This you over here dealing with the divine goddess now. Now I don't know how the kings do, but let me show you how the queens Get down.
Have you ever noticed that when learning about Black history, we always start at slavery, but we're not taught much about African history before Africans became enslaved? Well, that's because even when we're learning about African history, we're learning it from the European perspective when white people first met or interacted with Africans. This limits our knowledge to only a few hundred years, which prevents us from learning about interesting cultural facts and folklore stories. So today, let's talk about African queens in history. One of the most powerful kingdoms in African history is the Kingdom of Kush near the banks of the Nile River. And what's really interesting about this society is that they also had princesses, except the Kushite princesses were not chosen based off appearance, but rather by power. These warriors were called the Kandakes, and they actively engaged in politics with the Roman emperors. One of the most famous Kandake rulers was Queen Amanirenas, also known as the One-Eyed Queen, and let me tell you, she is super badass. During her rule when the Roman emperor was conquering other territories, the queen dethroned a statue of the Roman emperor and then buried it under the entranceway of her palace so everyone could, quote, walk over her enemy. And this is hilarious because this also includes the Romans themselves, literally having to walk over their leader's head in order to get into her kingdom if they wanted to invade it. And what's even better is that the Kingdom of Kush won, as the Romans had to sign a treaty for a, quote, draw since they didn't want to claim defeat, which prevented them from attacking her kingdom from decades to come. In addition, during one of her fights with the Roman soldiers, she lost an eye, which is why she's called the One-Eyed Queen and is portrayed with two different colored pupils, as one is representing the slashed eye she lost in battle. But after her wound healed, she went back to leading her army in several more fights against the Romans, and Queen Amanirenas was just one of the many Kandakes who had a strong impact on their kingdom. She also used to have a pet lion which she fed her enemies to. In conclusion, when researching about African history, try broadening out and learning about positive and interesting facts about the culture as well, not just negative history. For example, I personally like Japanese history, but if I only focused on the bad things Japan has done, I would have missed so many interesting and cool stories. Which is why it makes me sad that people associate African culture with only negative aspects, such as oppression and slavery, which is what causes all these negative misconceptions about African culture. Since no matter what,
I definitely agree with that. Hit the like and subscribe button. Reflection. You have to go. You get what I'm saying? Now it make you wonder why they didn't tell us about her in history class. This is a very important figure. Reflection. She was stepping on heads. Reflection. She was stepping on necks. She said, "Listen, listen. Do you want to be like this right here? Look, look. Put his head up under there. Put his head up under there and put his neck right by the arch of my foot. Right by the arch, right there, baby. Okay." She said, "No, I'm not playing no games with y'all." Because we wasn't even fucking with y'all. Y'all came over here trying to take land, trying to give us taxes. We don't need taxes, baby. The land is for all of us. She said, "Fuck this shit. Before we let you have it, we gonna go to war. We gonna burn everything down." Reflection. This how this goddess got down. She said, "I'm not here to play."
Queen Amanirenas, the Kandake of the Kingdom of Kush. Now, some of you might be asking, Tori, what is the Kingdom of Kush? And why don't I know about it? Kush was a powerful kingdom to the south of Egypt in what is modern-day northern Sudan. Known as the land of the bow due to its reputation for having excellent archers, Kush was on par with Egypt at the time. In fact, they had even overtaken Egypt at one point. Fun fact, to this day, the Sudan has more pyramids than Egypt. The more you know. But why don't we know more about this huge civilization? Two reasons. One, the Kushites used a form of writing called Meroitic, which, while similar to Egyptian hieroglyphics, has never been fully deciphered, which means that a lot of the things we know about the Kingdom of Kush have been written by other civilizations, who tend to put their own spin on things. And reason number two, racism. See, during the early 1900s, when archaeologists were looking at the Kingdom of Kush, they thought it was some just far-flung Egyptian outpost. Because as one archaeologist put it, there was no way that a Negroid race could produce a civilization this massive and forward-thinking without the help of the Egyptians. He was wrong. And kind of a dick. So back to Amanirenas. The year is 30 BCE. Egypt has officially become a Roman province after Cleopatra's death. And Augustus, formerly known as the snake Octavian that made Cleopatra kill herself, I'm not bitter, sets his sights on moving the Roman Empire farther south, into the Kingdom of Kush. The Romans start by trying to enforce taxes on the Kushites, who are absolutely not having it. So, led by their king Tiridicus, the Kushites attack Roman-controlled cities first. However, King Tiridicus dies in battle, which means his queen, Queen Amanirenas, must continue the fight. And that's just what she did. Amanirenas, with her son Prince Akinadad by her side, leads an army of 30,000 strong to take back the Roman-controlled cities in Kush. Although famously losing an eye in battle, Amanirenas wanted to send a message back to Rome, so she had all Roman statues torn down in her Kushite cities. In fact, she famously had this head of Augustus buried under the entrance of a Kushite temple, so that her people could step on the head of their enemy anytime they entered. The level of petty there is just... Well, Augustus wasn't too happy about this and sent in a huge Roman army to squash Kush. The Romans destroyed the capital city, sold thousands of Kushites into slavery, and claimed victory. But Queen Amanirenas said, okay, bet. She came at the Romans even harder. There are reports that she used war elephants in battle, and there is even a carving showing her feeding Roman soldiers to her pet lion. Yeah. So
well, reflection, if you ever wanted to know why they say you aggressive, if you ever listen, I think I got it. I told y'all, if you want to know why they say shit in the present, you gotta look in the past. Maybe we was a little aggressive. You get what I'm saying? Maybe we was a little aggressive back when. You get what I'm saying? Reflection, that could have been it. That's why they say, that's why they be saying it. They want you to be like this.
But I think we have totally misconstrued what being a queen is. We're doing the Miss America thing. That is not a queen. Someone who just sits on a throne and looks pretty. That's not enough. Our queens, our African queens, went to war. Our African queens led nations. Queen Amanirenas, that was a bad girl in Africa. She thwarted, I think it was Caesar Augustus, for 5 years. He wanted to take over Ethiopia, and she was like, nope, buddy, it's not happening. Her and her warriors, whoever they were. That's what a queen is. Standing up for your community and saying, nope, not here. Not gonna happen here.
You better recognize reflection. Left as a princess, I came back a warrior. Reflection, you gotta see, they got this shit misconstrued around here. When you talking about you a princess and a queen, and baby, no. Some of them stayed in the palace, baby. But most of them, you had to be universal around there. Reflection, you had to be multitasking around there. You gotta know how to get what I'm saying. Hit the like and subscribe, but I'm just trying to tell you why they said that you was a little aggressive. Yeah.
Who was Candace Amanirenas? After invading Kemet, Augustus was thinking about annexing Nubia. At that time, Amanirenas was Candace of Kush, in what is today Sudan and Nubia, the new Egypto-Nubian headquarters after the fall of Kemet. To stop the Roman expansion, Amanirenas decided to strike first. Her husband died during these battles, leaving her and her son to continue the fight, but the attack was successful. Kush captured 2 major cities, took captives, expanded its borders, and defaced Augustus's statues, symbols of Rome's power in Egypt. It infuriated Augustus, who struck back, invaded Kush, destroyed Napata, and captured many Kushites. Amanirenas even lost one eye, but it didn't stop her. She counterattacked, using terrifying war tactics like feeding captives to lions and using war elephants. Before long, Rome asked for a permanent peace, and granted Amanirenas everything she asked for.
Everything, not a piece of it, not a little pinch. She said, listen. Amanirenas said, listen, I didn't ask for a pinch. I want the whole thing. I don't want just a piece of it. I want the whole thing, the plate included. Hurry up and wrap it up. Yes, it's to go. Reflection. She was not playing any game. She said she want everything. And she said, if you think you finna come in my land, one eye or not, Horus didn't have number one eye, so I know that I am great.
All right, so you got to check this woman out right here. This is Queen Amanirenas. Queen Amanirenas was the queen of the Kush kingdom, or the Kushite empire. See, back when Rome was conquering everything and they made the campaign during Egypt, they wanted to conquer the lower Sudan, pretty much the whole world. At the time, Queen Amanirenas was running stuff. They wanted to tax her area. But when it came to Kush, the Romans ain't wanted that smoke. She found all of this out. She sent a whole bunch of army people down to the area of the Romans and tore shit up. She actually cut the head off of one of Caesar Augustus' statues, took it back home, and then buried it under her palace so that her people can walk over Rome. This woman was fierce. She once lost an eye in battle. She was called Candace or Kandake. This is the term for all of the princesses or the rulers or the female rulers of that time. So shout out to the girls named Candaces, any Candaces out there, or Amanis. This is where you get your name from.
All right, reflection. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. I told y'all was needed, didn't I? Didn't I tell you, reflection? Hit the like and subscribe button. We just over here talking about a little lost black history.